Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this truly magnificent Monday's edition of Talk Today. We're going to have some open line as we invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today. Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
And good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you're able to listen and follow along with all the proceedings as they transpire in the Legislative Assembly, and in particular, the session, especially in this time when many have shared, not just locally or regionally and globally, but especially locally, with all that is happening, that we are able to pay attention, to be informed, and to be involved with the political dealings of our country, laws that are being promulgated, amendments that are being proffered, and the whole policies that are being put forth. As a people, we understand what is happening as it impacts us now, and perhaps, our children and their children. So this impact is important that we appreciate the importance of what transpires. It is open line. I want to hear from you. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. I say publicly how grateful it was for me. I am, and it was an honor and a privilege earlier to, be able to accept the invite of Mr. O.C. to sit with him this morning as we, just watch the master at work, to engage our listeners, not only the political implications and the very timely topical issues that he brings forth, but to be able to sit in the studio with him and to be a part of For the Record was really an honor and a distinct privilege and pleasure. And I can share that as our listeners contribute, whether they call in as the preferred mode or they send their comments otherwise, that it's so, and it's exhilarating and gratifying, but such a excellent reminder that as a people, we have to be involved, engaged, as we exchange information, best inform, and invite people to discourse. And it's an amazing country in which we live, an amazing time to be alive. And I think as we are seeing increasingly that many of us have the opportunity to be of value, to be of service, that we quickly jump on it. Doesn't always mean that we, get what is it that we thought we were deserving of, or it goes the way we assumed. But hey, it's important that we are part and parcel of what is happening in our country. And with that, I'm minded that there are many of us who find many ways to be of service. And we take, for instance, some who have been summoned for jury duty, for instance. And I just use that as an example because as an individual shared with me earlier part of the year, the fact that when you're sort of called up for jury duty, you receive a summons, and get into the history or and repeat all that he was relaying. He said, is there a better format?
Register for the University College of the Cayman Islands 4-week technical vocational courses. The introductory courses provide training in computer technology, customer service, QuickBooks, commercial cooking, electrical installations, plumbing and air conditioning applications, and many more. Classes start July 27th. Qualified Caymanians can apply for private scholarship. How can you register? Join UCCI's registration drive from July 22nd to the 24th and July 27th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the UCCI campus. Bring your passport and health insurance card. For more information, contact the admissions team at admissions@ucci.edu.ky or call 623-8224.
Hey, hun, what you doing?
Putting things away in the shed since it's hurricane season. Preparing for the better.
Don't you mean preparing for the worst?
No, for the better. Since we have BritK Insurance, we're fully covered against hurricanes. Plus, they have response teams ready to help us file a claim faster. If I were preparing for the worst, I'd watch football all day.
Still don't get it.
Isn't there a match on?
Oh, really?
Let BritK prepare you for the better this hurricane season. Call 949-8699 or visit britk.ky.
You've spent a lot of time with your kitchen appliances lately. Did you realize just how old or out of date they really are? If you're thinking of upgrading or replacing your old kitchen appliances, there is only one place to go: Brand Source Home Gallery. They're having a 15% off sale on GE appliances this month. That's right, save 15% off on all GE appliances now through the end of July. You will love the savings and the look of your fresh new appliances from Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Call 623-5000 for more information.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. Whether it's formal wear and suits, bridal and suit rental, uniforms, tailoring and alterations, window treatment, including curtains and valances, or fabric and beautiful accessories, Creative Fashion and Design is taking fashion to the next level and has it all for you. And if your creative juices are flowing and you want to learn to sew, let Creative Fashion and Design show you how. Register today for beginners and advanced sewing classes. Not forgetting the young ones. They too can register for our Sewing Summer Camp, July 27th to August 21st. Creative Fashion and Design, located upstairs Tropical Plaza, Unit number 8. For more information, call Norma at 949-0034 or email info@creativefashionanddesign.com.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
join us.
We do apologize. We seem to be having some technical difficulties with her phone line there. We'll get it back to normal as soon as possible. We do apologize.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Country classics.
One night of love don't make up for 6 nights alone.
No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried. You're cheating hard. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. I'm a honky-tonk man.
Country classics.
She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time tonight. On a Sunday morning sidewalk.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
I'm so lonesome I could cry. I'd love to wake up in your arms tomorrow, but I'm so afraid of losing you again.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Country classics.
Troubles away. new generation, new sensation. And everybody's trotting on their own vibration, own inclination. I feel for you, my love. 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 Everybody's spending all their whole lives wasted. Hearts are breaking. Everybody's looking for that special someone. That special someone's looking for you too. Feel for you, my love. Feel for you, my love. And all of a sudden there was love everywhere. We never seen it coming, but we know that it's here for me and you and me. I feel for you, my love. I feel for you, my love. I feel for you, my love. Said I feel for you, my love. Said I feel for you. Together we are living in a new vibration, new creation. Perfect situation for a new generation, new creation. I feel for you, my love. I feel for you, my love. I feel for you, my love. I feel for you, my love, love. Said I feel for you, my love. Yes, I feel for you. Said I feel for you, my love, my love, my love. Said I feel for you.
Okay, man, moon shining down from above. Shine out tonight on the one I love, and by your beard I'll have love dreams. Shine out tonight, okay, man, moon, and the stars above. With you, keep shining, shining tonight on the one that I love, and in your beam I'll hum love tunes. Shine out tonight, in swoon. Shine out tonight, oh Cayman moon, and the stars above with you keep shining, shining tonight on the one that I love, and in your beam I'll hum love tunes. Shine out tonight, oh Cayman moon, oh Cayman moon.
Hey, good afternoon, and just to remind you, Talk Today will be with you shortly.
today, we gotta put the guns away. No more pain, and no more sorrow. Because today, we gotta put those bombs away for our children and their tomorrow. Think about this world that we're living in and the bad news every day. So much dying and so much crying unnecessarily. Don't you think it's time that we stop this crime and bring back the smiling face, peace and love and harmony throughout this world in every place? Because today, we gotta put the guns away. No more pain, and no more sorrow. Because today, we gotta put those bombs away for our children, yeah, and their tomorrow. From within, we're living. Rainy days will come, oh yeah, but sun will shine on through. Bring the hope, peace and love, colors for me and you. Freedom from within, freedom. We can't do without, yeah. Hand in hand we'll win. What's it all about? Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, yo. Sometimes your wife be stressing, just trying to find a place between my burden and my blessing. Sometimes I question if life is just a test, then who am I to mess with what is fate and what is destined? Everything is everything, it's life, it's all connected. But brethren, we need to fight and challenge its aggression. Love your enemy, forgive them, then forget it. Sing the tune, love the music, live the message. Don't let the internet come intercept your intellect. It's all a bliss effect, and regret is insignificant. Life is limitless and love itself is infinite. Let's disconnect from ignorance and let your wings and wind connect and fly.
Freedom from within. Ooh, yeah. We can't do without. No. Hand in hand we'll win. What's it all about? Because today, we gotta put the guns away. No more pain, and no more sorrow. Because today, we gotta put those bombs away for our children, yeah, and their tomorrow. Yeah.
So this one is dedicated to all my people living in Cayman right now. Don't let the times get you down. Now's the right time to show love and practice here. Cayman kind. Yeah, Cayman kind is what we need right now. Let's spread it all around. Cayman kind is what we need right now. Let's spread it all around. 'Cause in times like these, all we need is love. Spread it around, 'cause love will conquer all. So take care of each other, love one another. This is the time to be Cayman kind. Take care of each other, look out for your brother. This is the time to be Cayman kind. It is the perfect time to show your love to your fellow brother. Cayman kind. This is the perfect time. Oh yeah. Hey, mankind is what we need right now. Let's spread it all around. Hey, mankind is what we need right now. Let's spread it all around. 'Cause in times like these, listen carefully. This is the best way to take care of your community. So take care of each other, love one another. This is the time to be gay mankind. Take care of each other, look out for your brother. This is the time to be gay mankind. It is a sweet, sweet time to show your gay mankind. We spread it around.
It's a little green cottage by the sea, and a memory keeps on haunting me. For it was there where I were born, in a little green cottage home, in a little green cottage by the sea. I can see my mother standing by the door, and my memory wanders on some more. How she used to sing to me as she tossed me on her knee in a little green cottage by the sea. I can never forget my childhood days, how I romped and shout around the place, oh, with my mom scolding me as she spoke so solemnly in a little green cottage by the sea, in a little green cottage by the sea.
Hold my hand tonight. I'm so in love with you. Make me feel alright. I'm so in love with you. Time goes on and seasons oh they change. One thing remains the same. I'm so in love with you. Sometimes it's hard to give of yourself. It's not what you want, it's what you get. Love the one you're with, you'll see it will fit. what you want, it's what you get. It's what you get. It's what you get. Love the one you with, you'll see it will fit. It's what you get every time. In time you love her more for what you did. Well, hold my hand tonight. I'm so in love with you. Make me feel alright. I'm so in love with you. Well, oh, hey, I'm so in love with you. I'm so in love with you.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. One good thing about that interlude, we got to hear some really, really good music. I like Sean Hennings, but in deference to all that we heard, Miss Susan, I enjoyed Mr. Dalmy in A Little Green Cottage by the Sea. Oh, awesome.
I love the guitar in that song.
Yeah, man. I can picture him, right? Playing and all the siblings, I think, Gary, even though it's a saxophone, not necessarily a guitar, I see in him, his father. And when you look at what music is to our people, it's like a good fish dinner.
Good coconut rundown, but not everybody can cook a good Cayman coconut rundown. You know that, right?
West Bears and Canberra, is that what you're telling me?
Oh, we can cook it.
No, but the thing is, I was reflecting on technology. I was, very, very grateful, as I was sharing earlier, to accept Mr. O.C.'s invitation to join him. And I was so glad that, as he said, it wasn't planned, but the opportunity to sit with him and to realize that we live in this time and in this place and we occupy this space. Is it meaningful? Are we going to make a positive, profound contribution to the extent that our children and their children are going to be impacted in a way that when you look, on us, not only can they look with pride, but they say, they stood in the gap, not unlike what our fathers and their fathers, and by that I mean our mothers and their mothers, our forefathers, what they did. Because people now you have to wonder, are they weak and not wise? Are they, coward instead of being courageous? And Susan, I don't know, boy. I wonder where and how, when we're measured, will we be found wanting? So it's a challenge. I keep saying how you have the balance, what you're doing with all of the technology and the likewise. I personally enjoy the comfort of being hidden away from the camera, like today, like right now. So thank you for letting me occupy your studio. I got to sit closer to you.
You got to explain to people what you mean by that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're in the control room.
Yeah. I feel like, what Bernard Bushman felt like in the early days when he was an air traffic controller, seated around, not quite sure what he was doing. I just kidding. No, he hears me say that. No, but this is where it happens, right? So you invite me into your space here, as opposed into the being in that big room with the padded cell.
Or you invited yourself. Which one?
Are you saying I'm not welcome?
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
Okay, I just checking.
Well, the numbers to call talk today are 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, and 949-6990. Want to hear from you, so please call in.
I like this. How many years now? 12 years, and I finally get you to co-host with me.
No, I'm not co-hosting.
You're not going to co-host? Come on.
I tell you what, Saved by the Bell. We got the news to do, and we'll be back with more talk today right after this.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on our island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Cayman Islands government is shortlisted for Association of Project Management National Award. The UK Association for Project Management announced that Cayman is one of 4 finalists in the Social Project of the Year category. This was in recognition of the project management approach taken for the construction of the field hospital that has been constructed to support the country's preparedness for COVID-19. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Deputy Israel says it has fired on Hezbollah militants who crept into its territory in what Israel's prime minister called a serious security incident. The Israel Defense Forces said up to 4 militants crossed the border in the Mount Dov area, part of the Israeli-occupied Syrian Golan Heights. A Hezbollah statement said it had not engaged in any clashes, instead blaming a nervous enemy. And American movie stars Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson have officially become citizens of Greece, the country's prime minister has announced. The couple posed for a picture with their new passports alongside the Greek prime minister and his wife. Hanks, Wilson, and their children were granted honorary Greek citizenship last year for their role in bringing attention to a devastating wildfire near Athens in July of 2018. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
Green Turtle. Modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Hi, this is Danny Coleman, Director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands. We are now in the hurricane season, and for information on how to prepare and stay safe, please visit our website, www.caymanprepared.ky. Some top tips to bear in mind, given that we are still in the midst of COVID-19. Please make sure you have a mask and sanitizer, you have food supplies to last for 3 to 5 days, a portable radio, personal hygiene and sanitation items, and medical supplies, and any other specific items your family may need during a hurricane. Make sure you know where you will shelter in the event of a storm. If you have pets, please make sure provisions are in place for them too, as the majority of shelters will not take pets. Please visit our website for more tips and tricks on www.caymanprepared.ky or call us on 945 4624. Stay safe, Cayman.
The Wharf is your only waterfront breakfast and lunch atmosphere along the shoreline. Starts at 7 a.m. with freshly squeezed juices, hot coffee, and your farm fresh eggs.
The unique sunset happy hour and dinner ambience is your obvious choice for your waterfront dining. See you soon for salsa and boogie nights at the Wharf.
Follow us on Facebook to keep in the loop of all the happenings and come and join us at the all-day waterfront experience on the 7 Mile Beach.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. Of course, you can WhatsApp 925-3261 and invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. Honored. I had the privilege of sitting with Mr. O.C. earlier, and now I'm sitting, well, I wouldn't say it's socially distant from Miss Susan. More than the arm's length. A mic's
like 5 feet.
5 feet 4 inches, and I don't know. Will we have a caller, Miss Susan? Wait,
No callers as of yet, but I'm sure that will come.
That will come?
Yes.
Like Christmas?
No, but
actually, I shared that because we were earlier reached out to some adults in the community who over the years for a long time, and I don't wish to highlight them because they've always managed to, and I respect that, quietly do things so that it's not about fanfare, it's about getting the thing done. But this is July, and they've expressed concern that this is July, right? So this Christmas may be a challenge for many for different reasons, not the least of which, they were shopping for their Christmas ideas already, right? And so if the toys and the other gifts and the giving and that they would normally, will they be able to for many reasons, the financial implications, the ability to source and supply and deliver these things, but also the notion that what will that look like should this happen or should this happen. For instance, we see Bahamas and Spain, taking a different turn. And not to make it overly political or insensitive, but one says, how much of this is politically motivated? We've heard it often, never let a good crisis go to waste. And preserving the health and welfare and safety and security and the sanity of people, very, very, very important. But at what point are we going to recognize that it's not just about calculated risk, it's about, people being perhaps unfortunately scared and now so conditioned. And it's a challenge. I mean, look at our own personal lives. When are we still cautious? This morning, the lady with a great insight says, I'm in the supermarkets, I'm getting fruits and vegetables and so on. Everybody's picking it up. We can put ourselves in that situation. How much of what we're doing could be transmitting the virus or could be putting ourselves at risk or could, and then if we look at the access to hospitals and healthcare, are we still being limited? Not just locally, I'm talking just generally speaking everywhere, right? But when we go in other places to socialize, let's say the bars and restaurants, we have a larger number at the table if they're from the same group, and it's okay. But if you go into, let's say, a hospital, you're this distance apart, and there are these strict protocols where the hospital is probably a very safe place relative to, say, congregated at a table in a bar or a restaurant or otherwise. So how much of it is, sort of mixing people up, to put it in local parlance? I don't know, Ms. Susan. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. What do you think?
I agree with you. And also, as we look at some of what you're saying as well, as to think about food production, how much are we eating what we're growing?
Yeah.
And, what if, say, ships couldn't come in to bring food?
Yeah.
How would we eat?
Yeah.
So we need to think about planting, those backyard gardens.
So that whole notion of food security, right? And I'm glad you referenced that, because just like, the fellow was saying, okay, it's July, we got to think about the Christmas thing that we normally do. Because many people would already have ordered their stuff or think about ordering their supplies and the like, and their gifts and, to be prepared. But the food supply, if we look at what we hear coming out of the U.S., just the U.S. specifically, a lot of the meats, it isn't because there isn't meat. The beef, the cattle, the meat is being destroyed. The milk is being dumped because the processing plants are not operational. So that interruption in the supply chain has meant that there's seemingly an interrupted supply of the meat. And with that interrupted supply, then people are affected. Now, are there many, many other challenges that we're facing? And from that, as Ms. Susan shared, are we able to now consider, our food security and the notion? Hey, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255 as we invite you to share your thoughts. And sometimes, when we get a chance to look at how other things operate, I share with a great sense of appreciation sitting here in this, Ms. Susan said, the control room within the studio to see firsthand all of the great production. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255 as we invite you to share your thoughts with us. We'll momentarily, put our callers through as they want. And as one of our listeners, I would say very, very proud to know that this is happening in our society. And I'm glad that the listener is able to share with us, sent a WhatsApp. And you can do likewise, 925-3261. Says, she's getting and growing watermelons and pumpkin plants. And, when we think of how our forefathers used to live, it was, as they said, they created the ground, they were getting some ground provisions. They understood the weather patterns, and they would plant so that when the rains would come, as listeners shared,
we're grateful for the recent rain that we've had. They've been able to see the harvests in short order. And then when we think of those who are in farming and the like, they are reminding us that there are great surprises for some as to what can grow here, grow abundantly, and to what extent we can secure ourselves. Hey, I just marvel at where we are. But again, Miss Susan, I want to share something. Not expecting a response from you if you're not inclined, but following recently with what has been happening, where people are saying, okay, we're in the midst of the hurricane season now, and so we know inclement weather even over Christmas sometimes. So the nor'wester come in, people can't get their goods on the the timely manner that they want. But even there's a hurricane. But even now, when we have food supply, we watch in the European Union countries alone saying that they probably got $500 million increase in cost as a result of interrupted labor supply. They normally farm with cheap labor to do their farms as well. But in the Cayman context, someone shared, what if we could say take parts of the Cayman Islands, the BRAC in particular, right, parts of the eastern districts, and plant, right, not just the arable land that we have remaining, not just the land that is crown land, but even subsidize and try to incentivize the landowners and say, okay, you can develop this as a commercial entity and you make a lot of money, but once that building is built and is sold or rented, you can't grow cassava and pumpkin and beans and other things, right? What if we were able to create, little farming sectors? And I thought, I think back to Mr. Chatlope, for instance, right? And we had people who within each little district or a section of the district with some amazing produce. Mm-hmm. Could we do that? And I thought, well, I'm not a farmer, but it sounds good.
I like how you think, Sterling. I think that's an excellent idea. And that's a wonderful idea. And why can it be introduced here?
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of think of some regions, whether it's wines or fruits or certain produce, that particular region is synonymous with that particular thing. And if you imagine that in the Cayman Islands, your great cassava was coming from north side of West Bay or West End, or whether it was other things coming out. And we could even do it from not just the farming as it were, but we could look at it from a aquaculture perspective. Hear your thoughts. There are much smarter people out there who know and can probably quickly dismiss that this idea can't work, but there are others who can. Let's go to our phones. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you today?
Not too bad, sir. How are you?
Oh, very, very blessed. Very, very thankful indeed.
I like the program today because I think, for one, we should have been educated from in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
We should have been educated from the 70s, and we should have been doing all the other Caribbean islands. Most of them are they plant and have a lot of farms and stuff. We should have been educated to do all this stuff. We shouldn't be going through all this what we're going through right now.
That's the thing.
Like I heard you talking about the property and stuff. Yeah, we can have a whole heap of land with farming and stuff. But is it that the big supermarkets want to take the stuff, or can we provide for them?
Right.
We need to get serious and plan, and because we can do it.
Yeah. Can I ask you though something? And I'm not. Forgive me because I don't know. Right. I don't know enough about farming and agriculture and the different regions. But if I can just ask you, so just in recent times, we are talking to our friends and family, and we're making new acquaintances who are, in different parts of the world. So just recently, two individuals, one in some part of Mexico, I'm pretty sure it was Mexico that she said, and another was, I want to say some part of Europe, but I could be mistaken there. But anyway, other places than Cayman. was sharing that the farmers markets, no, it's called something else, but the farmers markets there, when you see the produce and you see the selection and the restaurants buying and the local communities buying, and then when you compare it to other parts of the world, not only is the selection very, very wonderful, the freshness and everything, but it's a market environment that is inviting. Do you think that for some reason we have maybe not encouraged enough of that sort of festive and varied supply that could hinder or limit how many of us want to go out and buy from the farmers markets, so to speak?
I don't think. I think some of the people don't even understand about the fresh food, because you have these supermarkets with all this food. Because sometimes when you buy certain vegetables like sweet pepper and stuff, they don't last long. But if you buy the local sweet pepper, it lasts for a long time. So I think we need to educate more of people to know to buy more local stuff.
Yeah. Do you think
it lasts much longer?
Yeah. Do you think generally? I mean, in this, just your off the cuff, response. Do you think that if you buy something local, mango, sweet pepper, tomato, any local produce, that it has to cost more than what you bring in? Because people seem to say, well, it's produced local, so it's going to cost more. Now, is that in your mind what you think, or do you think, well, you're not importing it, so you don't have all the shipping and import duties and all these other things, so it should not cost as much? I mean, what is your general thought, just off the cuff?
The local stuff is more expensive. I don't know why. The stuff is so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the stuff that come from foreign, it's much cheaper and the local stuff. So I don't know why they sell. You know why? I think they sell it that way because it's better.
Okay, the quality is there. Yeah,
it's better on the foreign food, and I think that's why they must sell it there. That's the only thing I think about. That's the only thing I think.
You're paying for the quality? Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's...
right now, I try to buy local, especially my sweet peppers and stuff. I buy them and stuff because it lasts much longer than much longer. And our food is much better.
Without question.
Because those people that used to be in the block, how they used to plant their food and stuff? They used to in rock holes. They used to put them in rock holes and have the biggest yams. And when I used to go on the bluff with my grandfather them and bring down stuff from off the bluff and stuff. When I was young, I was born there, but I used to be back and forth. And those, I used to remember coming down off the bluff and fresh, big old yams and stuff.
I heard one time that they brought a yam from the bluff. It took 50 men in 4 days to bring it down. Is that true?
I don't know if they're black, but they were good.
But you are right,
anyway,
man. Thank you.
Talking to you, and I think that's what we need to do. We need to shop more local. More local food, but the local people need to bring their prices down. Well, maybe that's the problem. Why the local food not selling that fast?
Well, you might be onto something. Hey, thanks very much, man, and thank you for everything. All right.
Yes, brother.
All right, blessings to you. Blessings. Well, Miss Susan, we have to take a break. Is that what you're telling me? Yeah. You're like that close to me. So we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to sample some of the local fare. No, I don't know. We'll see. For those who are listening, give us a shout, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Register for the University College of the Cayman Islands 4-week technical vocational courses. The introductory courses provide training in computer technology, customer service, QuickBooks, commercial cooking, electrical installations, plumbing and air conditioning applications, and many more. Classes start July 27th. Qualified Caymanians can apply for private scholarship. How can you register? Join UCCI's registration drive from July 22nd to the 24th and July 27th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the UCCI campus. Bring your passport and health insurance card. For more information, contact the admissions team at admissions@ucci.edu.ky or call 623-8224.
You've spent a lot of time with your kitchen appliances lately. Did you realize just how old or out of date they really are? If you're thinking of upgrading or replacing your old kitchen appliances, there is only one place to go: Brand Source Home Gallery. They're having a 15% off sale on GE appliances this month. That's right, save 15% off on all GE appliances now through the end of July. You will love the savings and the look of your fresh new appliances from Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Call 623-5000 for more information.
Mommy, have you been taking your medication? No, I think I forgot to pick it up. Your doctor prescribed it for a reason, so you should be taking it regularly. I know, TD. Thanks for the reminder.
If you are elderly or vulnerable and need your prescription delivered to your home, contact the Health Services Authority Pharmacy at 949-8600. Taking your medication when prescribed is important to your health, and your health matters to us. For more information about our pharmacy hours and locations, visit hsa.ky or call 949-8600.
Help support survivors of domestic violence by believing them. Being there for them is one of the best things that you can do. Listen and hear what they need. Let them tell their story in their own way. When supporting persons experiencing domestic violence, maintain confidentiality. They have trusted you enough to share their story. Don't share it with others. If children are involved, alert the multi-agency safeguarding hub. Being there for survivors also means staying in touch. Create a code word or emoji, so if you receive or hear that from them, you will call 911. To help them, it's vital to talk to survivors about their options and help them to evaluate each one. And finally, remember that you cannot rescue survivors of domestic violence, but you can support them on their own terms. For additional support, please contact the Emergency Services, the Cayman Islands Crisis Center, the Family Resource Center, the Legal Befrienders Clinic, the Needs Assessment Unit in Grand Cayman or Cayman Brac, the Mental Health Helpline, the Kids Helpline, or the Department of Community Rehabilitation.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. It's open line 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. I may be happier than a child at Christmas in a candy store, because not only did I get to sit within the store see earlier, but I'm actually physically seated in the same space as Miss Susan, and there's no camera on air, that is. It's a good day, Miss Susan. For me, because honestly, I don't know how,
Well, actually, we're still broadcasting on the YouTube channel, but they can't see you because there's no cameras.
Can we keep that forever?
Oh.
I'll get a picture and you can put it up for me. I'll get one of my brothers.
Okay.
No. I just don't tell. But the thing is, and I joke and jest, but part of it is that oftentimes we focus on the messenger and we fail to heed the message. Even, at times like these, when it's so important to be able to listen intently, actively engage, to ensure and reflect on what is transpiring in our Legislative Assembly, what transpired the other day before the Public Accounts Committee. The notion that Mr. Orritt's shows generate so much, not just the interest, but so much conversation after the shows as well, for people to know what's going on. And I think we're relatively speaking, we're an informed society. I think sometimes though we're maybe a little bit too passive. Don't want us to become aggressive, but maybe become a little more assertive, a little more proactive, a little bit more willing to sometimes, grab the bull by the horns and don't wait until we find our backs against the wall before we come out swinging. When the bell rings, you jump into the ring, you're already prepared, you're warmed up, you got your gloves on, and you're ready to roll. So, what's on your mind? 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Now, the gentleman's comment earlier, just before the break, in relation to, our farming, our agriculture, and the like. It's one thing when we look at the arable lands that we have we been able to assess, how many of them have already been developed into other areas that are probably, in the first instance, demonstrated a very, very profitable return. But long term, could they have been better utilized, and could the landowners been reasonably compensated for investing in agriculture as opposed to some other residential or commercial venture, building, renting, selling, as it were. But even now, with the lands that are available and the potential interruptions that could come to our food supply, not only because of hurricanes and other natural disasters, but what if countries are, as we face now, unable or maybe just unwilling to share their produce because they need to make sure that it's available to their own citizens, or where it may come down to a case of money. It's now $1, but all of a sudden it's now $100 because of demand and supply, or can we afford it? And if we can't, how would that affect us? And then we see the impact on education and healthcare, housing, and the like in societies. Are we at risk of, as we transition into this next economy, putting our people in a state where they are compromised when it comes to their health care because they don't have the financial resources, or the country has not trained enough of its people to get into the sector to be able to deliver the quality health care that the population has become accustomed or believes it should, expect. Challenges for the generations of our policymakers and parliamentarians to come down the road. Always exciting to see where we are. 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Likewise, you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Now, I was thinking earlier of a conversation, and I was contemplating, waiting for the response before a message, come through before I shared it publicly. But while I wait, we've what now? It's been 5 years since the pandemic started. I don't know how long it's been. 5 months? 5 years? It seems like a long time. It's still 2020? It just seems like a very long time ago. I wonder where people's mindset is now, where they are mentally in particular, and where their perspectives are in relation to what they plan to do, what they had planned to do, and now will that still be their plan going forward? And are people considering, maybe just like when things happen and all of a sudden you get a sort of this epiphany, or you get, a notion that some life-changing event has altered your mindset and your sort of mood, as it were. Very intrigued to hear from our listeners. Let's go to our phones. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Is this Dwayne?
It was, and it is, and it will be. How are you, sir?
Oh, God is good.
Amen to that. I believe that.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm a happy person. I have learned to ignore. If it's not important, I don't mess around with. I don't stress out on stuff that is. It gives me everything I need to exist on this planet.
If I
have that, why should I complain, right?
That's true, yeah. But I guess the serenity prayer, as you said, that's what I'm reflecting on. But
yeah.
I'm listening, man. You share with me, and I'll do my best
Well,
to
no,
follow along.
I called in. I'm calling in because last night I was looking at my phone at the local news, like Radio Command, not Radio Command, the Compass, and they had an article on there. I'm sure it was the Compass. It said it came out Compass that we are now restricted from participating in the Olympics because I think it said a $50,000 thing we were supposed to be paying to that committee, to the whatever the international thing is. And now none of our athletes are going to be able to go to the Olympics.
I heard something, but I have not reached out to them formally to try to get clarification.
Well, it was quite lengthy. I mean, the article was quite lengthy, and at first I thought it was like fake news. But then, you see, the point I want to make, we have it, and I'm going to say this. I hope everybody's listening because I'm going to say this. There's a thing that goes on in this island. As we become more prosperous and stuff like that, we become more arrogant in the sense that we think we're better and we could, the bad. And it's nothing wrong with having pride in what you do. But the one thing I've learned in life, that the higher we move in life, in socially, economically, and otherwise, the more humble we should become. And we haven't learned that. A lot of these people haven't learned that yet in Cayman. Especially some of the people that I know that are in control of this. I mean, I talked the other day I was talking about this long before this thing with off-reg came in now. And as I looked at this setup that they had for this off-reg thing, and I was wondering why, first of all, we brought in somebody, I think it was a guy named J. Paul Morgan, God bless his soul, I think he passed on, that was in charge, brought him in from Jamaica. And I keep abreast of all the news and stuff. He had come here, he had a contract for 18 months, if I remember correctly. And within that 18 months, he had spent $400,000 in travel expenses. Where he went, what he did, nobody talks, nobody said anything. But that was in the news, okay? What I'm saying is, because we're prosperous, there's money all over the place. It bothers me, Dwayne, that we live, this is 2020, and I keep saying it, but nobody picks up on it. The people in government and otherwise are supposed to be looking at things like this. They're not talking, but they can give out. When this coronavirus thing, they were giving like these people, the banned people, nothing wrong with helping people, Doug. Don't get me wrong. But some of them were getting $1,000 a month for 3 months, okay? Government owes me $26,000. I've been trying to get this for the last 5 years, and they won't pay to me. I did get some money, but I'm saying this because I'm not finished with them yet, because I don't think that they should be able to. You got people that have spent wasted money in government, officials in government, members of the in charge of departments and in charge of ministries that have ripped us off, and they just get fired. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody's paid the piper. Nobody goes to court. Why is that?
You referenced something. I had said I sent a message just trying to get clarification, and you called in, and it's on the same sort of related topic where it seems that you were sharing the country boasts about spending money on this, travel, buying this and that, and the person had referenced a few things. One of which was if we have in fact owe money to the International Olympic Committee and we are barred from the Cayman Athletics from participating for such a small sum. But you also touch on the notion of seemingly the lack of accountability for any transgression, any inaction even. But why is that? I mean, it shouldn't be a rhetorical question. You have the wisdom of the ages. You've lived and worked and traveled and you've seen. So why is that seemingly the accepted norm in this jurisdiction?
Well, you see, during the thing is this: that when people get some people, when they are lucky enough to find themselves in a position they didn't really expect to be there, then they get complacent and they depend on other people to do things, and then, you know. But one of the things, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I lived in the States, when I was working in the States, I worked with a company in an architectural firm in Dallas, Texas. And once a month, all the people that were under me, once a month I would call a meeting. And I would always repeat this phrase to them. I said, work hard and one day you'll take my job. I used to say that to them all the time. I said, that's the best thing you can do. Do the best job you can and one day you'll take my job. And believe me, when I was leaving that company, they tried everything for me to not leave, because I had decided that I was coming home and I was going to start my own little architectural business in Cape Ann. And they offered me all kinds of, increases in salary and all. But I told them, though, I said, this is my time, because I listened, God talks to me. And I knew that this was the time for me to come back home, And I'm so glad that I did when I did. But, during the thing is this, that I say, when people get a job, and I say, and some of them, and I use this phrase all the time, and it's because people have been working in government for umpteen years, and it looks bad that they're still in the same position. Not because, you see, if they go out and they get a training to move up in the ranks, then I can understand that they've made an effort to get there. But some of these people are promoted without having any knowledge of what they're going to be doing, but they figure they'll learn on the job. Not a good thing to do when it's important stuff that you're working with. You know what I'm saying? And these people, I coined the phrase that a lot of people in the Cayman Islands, not just the Cayman Islands, other places, are promoted to their level of incompetency. And that's not to be derogatory or anything like that.
The Peter Principle, I'm told, huh?
Yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact that people get up there. But some of them, instead of asking, if that had happened to me, I would say, I don't know anything about this. I'm new to this. I want you to tell me that's what I used to do when I first moved into architecture.
But let me ask you then, right? You referenced the public sector, but even in the private sector, we see some of our own people not getting the opportunities for the training, for the promotion, and they're in the same position. Let's just generally call it banking, right? They enter banking and they move to a certain level and then no further for different reasons. But by the same token, we'll see someone, and again, I just cast it back, like you said, when you came home, I guess that was 86, in that mid-80s, early 90s, and we saw the growth then. So we see people who have come to our shores, again, in the banking and financial services sector, maybe with some sort of qualification, but no real experience in the sector. And in short order, they move up through the ranks, being trained in many instances, by our sisters or our mothers, who themselves only had some of the academic qualifications, but all of the expertise and experience, but not getting the pay, the reward, the recognition, the promotion, the position. So are we, what we did then, are we doing it now? If you were able to join Mr. O.C. this morning, he read, what was basically a paid-for ad in a publication in 1965 that talked about development.
Yeah.
And that sort of almost sounds like that comment could have been made yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So if in a half a century, or if in 2 decades, or in the last 5 years, or in the last 5 months even, if we haven't done anything differently to empower, educate, encourage, nurture, and promote our people in relation to the opportunities, then how are we expecting the society to truly build a healthy foundation that positions its people not just for economic gains, but a sense of social stability. Because if we think it's going to continue in this nice way, or is that part of the plan? We're hoping that it won't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing we are doing. That we complacency sets in. Not everybody. This is not a blanket thing I'm throwing over government. Because we got good people in government and people that work hard, and they talk to me sometimes and tell me about how frustrated they become when they try to get something done, but nobody is really listening. You see, let me give you an example, Dwayne. This is 2020, okay? And I keep repeating this, and I'm telling you that it boggles my mind to why it is that we are the average laborer, the average worker, the minimum wage thing. This is 2020. In California and places like that, they're getting $15 an hour. And other places at $12, $15, $14, $15 an hour they're making. Okay? And here in Cayman, back in 1972, when I was working with Doucette, we were paying, Jim Powell and then was paying their laborers $8.50 an hour. And with that, you could have bought, oh my God, you could do things and have money left over at the end of the week when you got.
I hear that, right? And I understand and I recognize the challenges of when policymakers do things and the growth in the economy, the inflationary pressures and the like. But is it then, as many, including some in the business sector, have opined, is it that we have become addicted to cheap labor? We bring people that can work here, and end of the month they make $1,000. They find a way somehow to survive, but that $1,000 translates into millions in their own economies. But our people are being displaced, and then is that as a consequence of maybe some of the other things we see transpiring in our society that again affecting the quality of life, the social norms and the like?
Yeah, but Dwayne, I agree with you what you're saying. The thing is that when we they can bring in people from XYZ and bring them here, and they're supposed to be making X number of dollars an hour. But I hear these stories all the time. I know people that, especially in domestic helpers and stuff like that, they're taken advantage of. I knew one morning I gave someone a ride. I didn't even know who the person was. I just saw her, and she was driving, a little Filipino lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking. It was a Sunday morning. I asked her if she was going to town because she lived in town, but the buses weren't running. Very good. So I said, come on, I'll give you a drop wherever we're going. And we talked. And she told me that the person in West Bay that had her hired for a domestic thing, that even if she got a sandwich of grated butter, this person charged her for that. And sometimes she said she didn't get paid. But what can I do? She said, I don't want to be on the streets. And let me tell you, this happens in Cayman more often than not, because these workers are afraid to go to somebody and say this is what it is.
But is that not an indictment on all of us? I mean, whether it's a private employer.
No, it's not an indictment. What we need is we need people. You remember when we had, say what you like with Jim Borden and Mr. Warren Conley and Benson and all those Craddock and all the people that was in government back in the day. The first thing that when they did things, you would have these, because they were always suspicious of anybody who came here with money. But people today, 90% of the people in government today, somebody comes here with money, the first thing is, he got money, we can do this, do that. And not stopping to think, well, this guy is out to get you. He's not doing it because he loves you. He's doing it because he's trying to make money for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys would tell these foreigners that came here, when they came here talking about they want to develop. And I remember in 1950s and 60s and 70s, the few hotels we had, even in the summer, were busy. And when you go to those hotels and you go walk in that place there, you got a drink of water or you talk to somebody, 90 times out of 100, there were Caymanians that you were talking to. Now what has happened is, I think, this is my opinion, the government sees all this, like the development got there. And believe me, mark my words, my friend, there's going to be a lot of these, what I call these styrofoam boxes, they're going to be sitting there long time from today. They're not going to be selling. They're going to be sitting there. And then you could see, if you think after 2004 was bad, you talk about a recession going to hit this island, when all these hotels, not hotels, but these condominium stuff that they're building, that they were expecting to make millions and millions of dollars, and they were giving out $30 billion in concessions and this, that, and other thing. Dwayne, let me tell you something. I say this not because I want to say things derogatory about this island, but if we don't stop and take the time and say we've got to catch this in the bud. I remember when they were building the Ritz-Carlton. This is factual now, because the person came to me, and they were getting all these concessions on duty and all that. And this person told me that if I had, and he's a Caymanian, he said to me that if I got any of my clients that wanted to get like a kitchen equipment, bathroom fixtures and all this kind of stuff, he can get me a deal. And I said, well, I don't know what kind of deal. He says, come on with me. He put me, I went on his, I followed him, I didn't go and instruct. I followed him up to the Ritz-Carlton on the side where the condominiums are, on the southernmost side of the building. And we parked over there, and he walked in, and the security guard just said hello to him. He went upstairs, so I mean, he had control of something. And when we got up on the second floor, there's no partitions and nothing, just columns and stuff there, and in that floor on that side was covered, 2 floors, was covered with kitchen equipment, bathroom fixtures, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And he started naming me what he could buy, what you could buy, stoves and stuff like that. Stove that would be $1,000, big odd dollars and stuff like that. They were getting for $600-$700. Which said to me, somebody was making money off that deal. They were bringing them in, getting the duty concession, but they're not going inside them apartments. They were selling them.
Mm. But this is, again, but appreciate what you're sharing. Maybe after a break, we can pick up that conversation. Anybody else wants to weigh in on it. Hey, thank you very much for putting that on the table. Let's talk about it when we come back. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
King Sports Center Art of Fun Summer Camp is back. From July 7th to August 7th. Now, in its 16th year, the Art of Fun Camp is ideal for kids aged 5 through 10 with activities from football, basketball, dodgeball, squash, rock climbing, arts and craft dance, singing, and more. Your child can stay cool while having fun in a safe and secure environment. For more info, email kings.brebanks@gmail.com. That's kings.brebanks@gmail.com or call 946-KING. Like King Sports Center on Facebook, and you can also find them on Instagram or call 946-5464. King Sports Center, providing you with all your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
This is an important public service announcement. The Standards in Public Life Law has commenced, and all persons subject to the law are required to file a declaration of interest by this coming Thursday, 30th of July, 2020. To determine if you are required under the law to declare your interest, visit www.standardsandpubliclifecommission.ky. Again, the deadline for persons to submit their declaration of interest in accordance with the Standards in Public Life Law is this coming Thursday, the 30th of July 2020.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It's open line 949-8037. Or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Before we revisit the last caller's comments, I want to share this WhatsApp that came in earlier while he was chatting. And we're talking about food security and the local produce. This listener writes in and shares a good day. So I think it is dishonest to sell the local stuff more expensive than the imported stuff. Which I think we should at least match the other prices or even go lower. No, that's the perspective. But as the caller who, when I asked that question, said, well, the quality is there, so maybe you can charge more for the quality. Others in the past have weighed in, well, you got a piece of land and your yield isn't that high, so you sell for a little bit more in order to kind of make up for that shortfall. And likewise, instead of farming the land out for tomatoes and other, crops, if you were to develop it into something else, build apartments or houses or commercial or retail or some other sort of development, you might be able to make more money. But is that what we want? And like the caller that mentioned the whole issue with our food inequality, and the last caller who was talking about the development, I think there are some tough challenges ahead for societies, and for this one in the same vein, as to what is it we're going to do, how are we going to do it, with whom are we going to do it, and what are the expectations relative to the benefits from doing it. And is there, I think, a willingness on our part to make that level of sacrifice, commitment, investment to do it. Well, let's hear from you. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Now, two things are quite, sort of obvious. So much so that it maybe speaks to their acceptance of it, or at the very least, are tacit on willingness to say so publicly. Look at our road works, for instance. We're in the middle of the hurricane season. We just had, everybody forced off the roads and confined to their homes on the house arrest, as it were. And road works are continuing. The hurricane season, the rains are evident. Why is the scheduling and the timing sometimes seem year after year to coincide with increased traffic congestion and increased rains when we're doing these types of infrastructure projects? It may just be scheduling and delays, but it may just be, well, that's how we've always done it, so let's just continue. When we think of that, and the last caller's point relative to our behaviors and the like, if we think back to the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the population was relatively small. The number of condos and hotels and other businesses that are open aren't as they are now. So any business, presumably, that opens and needs additional staff, it's a good chance that that staff will have to be filled from outside of the jurisdiction. Now, if you're building the economy and you're growing it to that extent, that every conceivable job possibly leads to increased numbers of work permit holders, then you have to manage, well, what is it you're growing, and as many have been asking for decades, for whom are you developing? And the population, to what extent is it benefiting? Well, the increased work permit fees pays for added infrastructure. The demands on our education and healthcare, well, is it as a result of the increased population? Well, your thoughts. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. And I'm thinking, one of the great things that one of the few things that I've been able to still enjoy in recent weeks is the seemingly absence publicly from some places where you can spend time quietly reading and rereading and researching even more intensely. And as you recognize that some of the questions that have been asked there, some of the comments that have been shared here are very much like what you see in other, more advanced, developed economies. And as our people start to appreciate that they can, have online education, that they can work, what was once called telecommuting, now is working remotely. When we see competitive tourist destinations, Barbados, for instance, saying to the world, hey, come and spend a year in Barbados. We'll give you a remote working visa and you can live here, follow the protocols. Is that something that we would consider, that we should consider? And the whole idea that this level of being socially distant may have caused some of our sociologists and psychologists in particular to say, listen, let's not be, too quick to embrace that if it means that we're no longer connecting with our people or friends or family physically, because that can be harmful in many, many ways. But for those, for whom they are now at home or elsewhere, is it working for you? What is your perspective? Are you finding it more productive? Think of, what you may have observed, say, a year ago, 2 years ago. You go to the libraries or the, little coffee places, and you see people assemble on their devices. Are they working remotely? Maybe their client is across, many time zones and thousands of miles away as they collaborate on the project. Maybe their client is literally, in the same complex as the coffee house, but just upstairs. But they're down there working, not because they're an employee, but as a contracted service. Maybe the person who either owns or is now renting one of the wonderful condos that we have, whether on Grand Cayman or any of the sister islands, and working like that. It's the infrastructure that allows it now. Have you found, like so many of us, that as a result, one, you've had to buy, more laptops or other devices. You've had to increase your internet speed in this connection. Have you, like only, a few of us saw your electric bill go up, but your lifestyle really didn't change. But yet, as a hit to see, you see, everybody, the only saving grace is that the ad was voiced by such a very talented fella as Matt Brown. Everybody's home now, so your electric bill is going to go up. But some of us, our lifestyles really never change. Our consumption, in terms of the number of people in the household and the number of hours, really, it was similar. But yet we've seen an increase in it when prices seemingly were decreasing relative to the oil prices. To the caller earlier who asked about accountability, well, where is the level of accountability? But equally, where is the questioning by the public about what transpires? And if you think of the standards in public life legislation, the increasing comments from people sort of quietly and privately, well, what does that mean? How does that impact us? What would that cause, as we go forward? Well, let's hear from you. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. We've got the news break to take, but when we come back, let's ask this question, give you a chance to think about it in terms of, where we're going. So we've accused governments of having this addiction to work permit fees because it helps to fund the government, coffers. Well, what impact, if any, can and will that have going forward as more of us are working from home? Let's talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Starting today, the Cayman Airways ticket office on Owen Roberts Drive has reopened to the public for the sale of tickets for domestic travel and for travel on outbound repatriation flights. Customers will be able to visit the ticket office in person Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in accordance with recommended and required COVID-19 safety measures. To book domestic and outbound international flights, call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311 or book online at www.caymanairways.com. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. Chinese students in Sydney are being targeted in a kidnapping scam, forcing them to pay massive ransoms to fraudsters, Australian police say. In many cases, blackmailed students were forced to stage their own kidnapping and send video proof to relatives in China to obtain funds. 8 virtual kidnappings have been reported this year, including one where a $2 million ransom was paid. And Vietnam has closed Da Nang to tourists after 15 new locally transmitted coronavirus cases were recorded there, the first in the country since April. Tourists cannot enter the city for 14 days and up to 80,000, mostly domestic visitors, are to be flown home. Vietnam has been lauded as a success story of the pandemic, having acted early to close borders and enforce quarantine and contact tracing. It has recorded just over 400 cases and no deaths. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio K-Man on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio K-Man app or log on to our website, radiokman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Well, I guess if you're connected,
they hear you.
There's some really important subjects being touched on there this afternoon. And first of all, I think, well, when I tuned in, you were talking about the food stuff and the local production.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's my belief that if there were more assistance, and I don't mean this as monetary assistance, but more assistance that could be offered from, I guess it would have to be the agricultural department, to assist backyard production. You know, because there are many people that have backyards that I'm sure they could designate a little plot there where they could plant some, maybe tomatoes in the cool part of the season, or could even put in a potato vine, or a cassava stick. Just make sure you don't plant them upside down.
You think they'll grow better?
No, probably not. But not for many folks that they would understand that. But it can happen.
You see, I love the humor. but go ahead. I'm gonna ask you. Yeah.
Let me finish. If that assistance could be offered, and things like pruning, and because normally you wouldn't have that kind of expertise.
Mm-hmm. That's
And when you get the dry weather, you get a lot of the trees, a lot of the wood sort of dry up, and you come some rain, and then you see all these dead limbs in it, which at that point it needs some pruning, and many of us don't really know too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
But many years ago, Radio Cayman had agricultural program, I forget what it was called, but where we gave all of these kinds of tips and tidbits to people at that time growing in their backyard.
Mm-hmm.
It was on every once a week with Dr. Jackman, and then we followed it up with Dr. Who was the one after Dr. Jackman. But anyway, it ran for years, and it was very, very important. It was very successful.
Yeah. But you referenced the assistance, and I'm glad you shared technical as well, because some people think it's only about money. But if we could have access to that technical assistance, even if it's just 20 by 20 square within your yard, the back, the side, or somewhere. But is it then that we're not only failing to incentivize our people, we're also failing to provide assistance, technical, financial, or otherwise? But is it then too that we're openly discouraging people? And I say this not to disrespect anyone, and certainly not at this stage to point fingers, but I've had, today is only Monday, and this is almost the end of July. So in this last few months, I've had 4 people who live in what otherwise would be considered sort of the the upper end communities shared that they've had their neighbors complain, right, openly complain that they now started to farm in their yards, backyard, side yard, front yard, little grow boxes and the like. One fellow said he did it because he got scared. He was worried that he wouldn't have food, for his family. So here's a way to complement the table. One did it because he said he was bored. He needed to do something, right? So he planned.
Well, I think when those kind of instances crop up in the community, again, it's a lack of education,
Okay.
lack of getting the CI education process out into the community so everybody understands. I like to do a little backyard farming, so don't come and tell me, I can't put a sweet soft tree down my backyard, and I'll give you some sweet softs when it bears.
Right. I hear you, but and I'm only, because I don't know the full particulars, but I'm not trying to, at this stage, be inflammatory in any respect, right? But presumably, the story as it related to me, the individual lives in one of these communities that has some sort of homeowners association, for want of a better word, and basically was told, that's not allowed here as per I'll use the word the bylaws, whether that's the right term.
Well, probably it's a covenant, more or less a covenant. But I think even if there is little communities that these sort of covenants on anybody that is trying to grow a little scallion tree in his backyard, or a pigeon pea tree in his backyard, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That should not be discouraged, and no anybody who would discourage it then should be held accountable.
Well, okay, fair enough. But let me ask, as you were sharing that, I recall, this is before I started hosting a show, so easily 15 years ago, a conversation with someone who indicated that they were doing a development and had to get planning permission, and received it, and it was going along, but had to submit. No, I use the word had because that was how I recall it. They were required to submit some sort of landscaping plan, And okay, this was over 15 years ago, so I may not have it exactly, but I was recalling that in this thing, the fellow said, well, what he's going to do is create little gardens where the people could build little grow boxes and plant things out, only to have been told by planning, presumably now, right? This is the allegation, that, well, what we require from you is this kind of tree and this kind of tree and this kind of tree. So your tomato plant, your scallion, your, seedlings that will become fruit bearing in 15 years or whatever, that's not acceptable. You need to put in palm trees and grass and, landscape the place. Now,
there again, you see, I think, and I keep using this term CI sensitive.
Yes, sir.
You're getting away from the CI sensitive culture method.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear you, and I'm glad.
And I think we're strayed too far away,
right?
Too far away from that. But let me just move to another subject. I think what we said is I think one of your previous callers talked about the wage thing here. You still there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the wage. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Of what's the minimum wage now? $6 or something like that an hour. And,
in the West Bay it's less. I'm just kidding.
Well, the thought went through my mind. I went back to 1952.
Mm-hmm.
I worked up along that 7 Mile Beach, hauling sand off the beach
mm-hmm.
to fill up big trenches that was dug there by the U.S. Navy when they were here as defensive positions to where I guess it was the West Indian Club was being built for $1 a day. Okay, $1 a day. And at that time, $1 was 7 shillings a day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I wonder if you extrapolate from on an annual basis from 53 up through this present time, what that would be 67 years, 68 years?
67 years, huh?
Yeah, if you extrapolated that and see what that would come out to. Now, one of your previous callers also took it a little bit closer to the present time. I think he went up to 72 when he said people were making, the average laborer was making $8 an hour. So, and you'll see how I guess we are not being, or we have not been honest with ourselves in moving up, because everything changes, and if you don't change, then
stagnation.
In the kind of state that is being described.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I like when you share about being CI sensitive, and I think that's where we have. But if we have our planning authorities, our policing authorities, our policy making authorities, our enforcement authorities, if all of that is us, and we ourselves aren't respectful nor cognizant of the historical ethos or a socially conscious ethos that talks about promoting and protecting and providing for our own, then we are just looking in the mirror at a blank stare.
Well, that's it. I think we've strayed far from
mm-hmm.
the CI sensitive ethos that really got us to where that built a foundation for what has come along in the last 30 or 40 years. And and if that ethos cannot be maintained, then I think that foundation is going to start crumbling away. And what are we going to have?
Right. Well, leadership that lacks vision, and the people will perish for sure, right? So, hey, thank you for sharing with us. Any final thoughts, sir?
Well, there was another subject, but I can't bring it to mind now. That I think
sorry about that.
I think was broached in your. Maybe you can help me in your before. Anyway, one thing, and getting back to the food stuff. being expensive. And many years ago there was a lot of food stuff that was grown in Cayman Brac and in East End. East End. In fact, the East End truck would come down to West Bay, usually on a Saturdays with all kind of provisions. Now, looking at it from that standpoint, from producer to consumer, there's not, at that time there was not the we call it middleman. And I think that is where a lot of maybe the expense comes in, that drives the price up to where it's most of the time more than you'd pay for imported.
Yeah.
But that's just
it's a thought.
I think,
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, and respectfully, I have so close to Miss Susan that I can't pretend to ignore her. So we have the break to take. She drives a tough ship. All right, let's take that break. When we come back, more talk today.
Green Turtle, modern solutions to get you through the new normal. Download the Green Turtle app now and top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination. Home delivery of laptops, tablets, phones, accessories, and iTunes and major online retailer gift cards. And now, home deliveries of groceries and courier service. Guaranteed delivery within 2 hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit their list of products at greenturtle.ky or download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
The Toyotathon 2020 event is going on now at Vamped Motors. Get our lowest prices of the year on a great selection of our most popular Toyotas, with big savings on the new CHR Hybrid, the 7-seater Rush, the adventurous RAV4, the rugged Hilux truck, and more. You can drive home an amazing deal. Save up to $5,000. Take the full discount, get cash back, upgrade your vehicle with your savings. It's all your choice during our huge Toyotathon sales event going on through July. Don't miss out. Come to Vamped Motors for your new Toyota. Let's go places.
Rotary Central supports our National Gallery, now open free to the public, providing access to healing, renewal, and reflection through the arts. An opportunity to visit, to traverse Cayman Memory Lane, heritage, faces, places, voices, fabric, glimpsing a wider dimension of who we are, where we have come from. Join us at the National Gallery. You will see the Island of Women exhibition featuring 26 local artists exploring invaluable contributions that Caymanian women have made to developing Caymanian society. See the remarkable Bendel Heights Acquisition Showcase. Bendel is our Picasso. View salt water into their veins, a new exhibition featuring 45 local artists as they explore Cayman's legendary relationship with the oceans of the world. The National Gallery of the Cayman Islands. 8 exhibitions currently on show between Cayman Brac, Grand Cayman, and virtual tours online. The National Gallery in full compliance with safe distance and health requirements. Book your visit in advance to avoid waiting for entry. Call 945-8111. Rotary Central and the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands, supporting wellness, healing in reflection. Rotary opens opportunities.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon, and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It is open line 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Hey, let's go to the phones. I'm told this is a very important person. Good afternoon. How are you?
Sterling, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you so much. And it's just again, thank you for allowing me to call in.
Oh man, listen. You have unfeathered access, and you can call anytime. You might even answer.
yeah, troublemaker. But listen, I wanted to call back this week because we are starting our mobile health and wellness clinic tomorrow in the District of West Bay. And I wanted to just let people know once again that service is coming to the District of West Bay next week and the week after, and then we're going to be moving to Georgetown by next week Saturday. Tomorrow's clinic has very luckily already been booked out, which is fantastic, but we still have spaces on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for those who are wishing to come meet our team out there.
Okay, and this is the health and wellness, the Red Cross, but is it in partnership with any other entity, or is it just the...
Yes, no, this is definitely a community partnership between us, the Health Services Authority, the Wellness Center, Encore Cayman, the Employee Assistance Program, the Ministry and Departments of Education, Digicel, Aspire, Alex Branton Foundation, the Family Resource Center. So there are a lot of people who have come on board and who are making this happen.
Excellent. Now, share with us then, for people who want, maybe, as you shared, tomorrow is booked up, but you have other days, two things. One, the health and wellness sort of checks that you're doing, what will they entail? What do people need to do? Tell us the time and how, we can get sort of the appointments. So share with us.
Absolutely. So basically what it is for the physical health part of it, we're doing the school screening. So there will be doctors from HSA and the Children's Clinic who are going to be on hand to actually do the school health screening, which would have been traditionally done by now, or would have started by now, but obviously COVID has kind of thrown a wrench in the plan. So it's going to be things like, height, weight, the vision test, the hearing test, as well as just a series of sort of questions that the child or the parent will be asked depending on the child's age and everything else. So it's a very sort of basic screening that they use for schools. The mental health aspect of it is going to be something similar. It's just kind of a check to see, where the child is at, and also asking, the parent or guardian a couple of questions as well. And the aim behind that is just to kind of see, because we know that COVID-19 has taken a toll on all of us, but just to see, whether or not people are coping, if they could use some additional support, if they can get referrals to additional services. And the way to book it is through either WhatsApp on 547-0918 or health@redcross.org.ky. That's health, HEALTH, @redcross.org.ky. So the locations for next week will be, so Tuesday we have Grace Christian Academy, and that's the one that's basically already booked out. Wednesday will be at the Ministry of Peace Church, that's on Town Hall Road and Reverend Blackman Drive. Thursday we're going to be at the Presbyterian Church of Ocean Bay, which is on Florence Lane. On Friday we're going to be at the parking lot of Assembly of High God Praise Tabernacle, which is on Finch Drive. And then on Saturday we'll actually be at Birch Tree Hill at a lot right there close to Bankers Road intersection, which is right next to Pastor Haylock's house. So you'll be able to see us. We'll have the truck, we'll have the trailer, we'll have a tent out. And we're encouraging people to book the appointments, one, so that they can make sure that they have a time that's already designated, and two, also to help us, ensure that we can maintain the physical distancing and all the COVID-19 protocols.
As I listen to you, so the times now between 4?
So, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it's just like the first appointment is right at 4. The last appointment will be at 7 because we'll be packing up and leaving by 8. Yes, we're going to be there, with the assessments, doing those from 4 to 8 p.m.
Well, Ms. Carleen, I think, as you shared that partnership, and we're looking at the physicians being there, the Red Cross, we know without question, provides an invaluable service. So these screenings and wellness checks, you're looking after not just the physical, but as you shared, the mental aspect of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's, mental health is something that I think as a community we're coming to terms with the fact of its, the incredible value that we have and the need to ensure that we take that into account. and definitely in light of everything that is happening, given the lockdowns, given the all the way in which our life has been, altered right now, and certainly in looking to the future, in light of having everybody go back to school, right? Having kids go back to school, and our borders are due to reopen in some way, shape, or form. I think that there's a lot that we need to discuss when it comes to kind of working through those thoughts and feelings.
That's the thing that I think we often sadly ignore, those thoughts and feelings, and we may be conscious of them when they're negative and weigh us down, but what if they're disjointed and we're somehow, as some would talk about being out of sorts, we're not quite sure, we're not as focused as we are, or we're got our minds in a million different things at the same time. So helpful.
Yes, no, absolutely. And for all of us, right? I mean, it's one of those things that I've mentioned before. I was doing an online seminar, talking about children specifically, but one of the things in which the neuroscientist mentioned is that, the part of our brain that is engaged right now is that sort of survival mode part of the brain, right? So if you find yourself kind of having difficulties remembering simple things, whether it's phone numbers or even words and whatnot, it's because there's a lot of space in your brain that has sort of been taken up with this, this survival instinct and everything else. So that's sort of where we are at. So we're encouraging everybody to please come out. We're starting with you, West Bay, and obviously I think one of the important things for us to keep in mind is that, a lot of people think that these types of services are needed in Cayman, and for organizations to go out into the communities and into the districts more. And I think it's a good opportunity for us to really prove that this is something that shouldn't necessarily just be a one-off, where we're starting it now and really looking at this as a potential pilot, right? And I think this is something that if it gains enough traction, maybe we could look at ways in which we can, make services more readily available in the district more continuously.
Indeed, and perhaps help people, as you shared, that can't for whatever reason get to the service, bring the service to them. So there's a WhatsApp number that they can book it, or they can email. You want me to repeat it because I made a note of it, or you want to? Your voice sounds so much better. You want to share it?
No, it's okay, and you can keep plugging this away over the course of the week, because I promise I won't bother you every single day. But the WhatsApp number is 547-0918, and the email is health@redcross.org.ky.
Yeah. Well, let me publicly say, anytime I hear from you, it's not a bother but a pleasure. The work that you, the Red Cross, has been doing in our communities have been welcome and invaluable. Now, we have a quick question from one of our listeners, just to clarify. These checks that you're doing, blood work, fasting, I know it's at 4 p.m. to last appointment, then it's at 7 p.m. But just for clarity, maybe confirm with us, are we taking blood work and doing all those things, or?
No blood. We're not juking anybody. No.
I like that word. You must feel West Bay. You're not juking them? All right.
No. There will be, no. If there's anything that, any additional follow-up that is needed, whether it's blood work or urine work or anything else, where any type of fluid needs to come out of your body, you will be referred to HSA or your, mainly HSA for public health reasons. So it's just like it will be that. But no, this is a school screening, which is it's very friendly. There will be, and it's just like it's really about kind of seeing, talking to parents, and really doing that sort of very basic kind of testing. But again, the aim is that if we're kind of doing this, but something else pops up and in a family or an individual needs some additional follow-ups, that they will be put in touch with those services to get that necessary follow-up.
All right. Well, we're glad that we can help to promote it. We're glad that, as you said, tomorrow's session is already fully subscribed, but you have more Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
And Saturday, yep.
Okay.
We're going to be up there on Saturday as well.
So between
4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So come out, West Bay, come out.
All right. Hey, I'm coming out. That's
there you go. Thank you so much, Sterling, for the time.
No, thank you. You're most welcome as well, and enjoy your afternoon. Talk to you very soon.
Speak soon.
All right. Bye. This is, Ms. Susan, as we close out, this is where I think the community's strength is evident. This is where we can show how we benefit so when we take things into the community, it may be a public education initiative relative to the environment, it may be a health initiative with all the partner agencies, and I commend HSA in particular for its willingness to share its staff. But I think the Red Cross shows its strength when it's out in the community, whether it's a blood drive or whether it's a health screen like this, so that people can get it. So, tomorrow is an opportunity. As Ms. Carlina Ferrer said earlier, you can either WhatsApp 547-0918, or you can email. I'm told by those younger than me that email is for us more mature, not older, but more mature people. Well, that's health@redcross.org.ky. So either WhatsApp or email. We'll do our best to remember to share with you each day what is happening, but make a note of it. What are your closing thoughts, Miss Susan? Can I make a request? What Joella says, you just don't have to. You can WhatsApp, but do I have to call? No. Well, I like country, and I was listening.
Really?
Yeah,
you love country? I didn't know that.
I love country. And was it Maddie and T? Yeah, I was exercising sometime, and Mommy Can You Die from a Broken Heart? I was listening to that, right? I'm thinking, that's an interesting song to, be listening to, but having students, sort of by virtual means say to you, how do you know Maddie and T? They're not new, sort of like in your area, but it's all good songs, man. And any country song Miss Susan plays, like any other song she shares, always good stuff. So for that young lady out there who I say it, even if you're approaching 50, you're still young. Well, heartbreak is something that you'll get over. And like the song says, you laugh at it one day. Well, you may not. But if you don't move on, persevere like anything. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Please continue to stay tuned to Radio Cayman. Join us again tomorrow for more Talk Today after midday news and midday meditation. I'll negotiate for as long as I can to do this thing remotely. The only drawback is I don't get to see Miss Susan personally, but the benefit is I don't have to comb my hair. So those of you know what I mean. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile. Saving lives today.
After all that talk, sit back, relax. Easy listening on the way. You're listening to Susan on the